There are a lot of changes coming to Warzone this week with the Season 1 update of Black Ops 6. So I'm going to break down what's good, what I think is not so good, and what you should watch out for in the upcoming Warzone season. Enjoy. Right, so the first thing we've got is the Area 99 map. Now, this is basically taking inspiration from Nuketown and putting it in a Warzone map. It's a desert map. And straight off the rip, because it's a desert map, the colours do not look that great. Now, it looks a bit more vibrant here than what we saw creators play at Call of Duty Next. They have actually made the map a little bit more vibrant. However, for the most part, I don't think it's going to look that great in terms of colour palette. Yeah, I think Treyarch are typically, known for vibrant maps. This one isn't really vibrant. However, looking at this photo as well, just on here, one thing I can see is a lot of customization for the parachutes. Parachutes look like we can customize them this year. There's a lot more customization, which I'll talk about a little bit later on. However, customizable parachutes haven't saw that unique identity in Warzone for me personally. Aside from an operator, I think it's personally a good change. This is obviously going to be Area 99 now. I think it was J God's video or something like that, where he pointed out that all these little photos around the edge of this are the new map in terms of the updated colour palette. However, this one here in the middle, and also as you go down through the photos, the mini maps are all the old colour palette. So we can kind of see that, yes, they do look a bit more vibrant, the pods here especially. So this orange pod here, that's here, is this one right here. So the colour palette does look a bit more vibrant. You can't really see the changes. So that does look somewhat good. And I think a lot of it is kind of fighting inside of buildings as well, which I'm actually a fan of, because I hate playing Rebirth and Fortune's Keep and Vondel and getting constantly third-partied from someone sat on a rooftop about 500 metres away, well not 500 metres away, but like maybe 200 metres away with a sniper. So the fact that they're doing that and changing that up, I'm actually a big fan of. The buildings all look unique, they look different. Obviously not played this map yet, don't know what this map's going to be like. However, I don't think there's an awful lot of high ground in it either, so it does look like it's going to be a good map. Fingers crossed that Area 99 is going to be a decent resurgence map. Now, as well as the addition of Area 99, there is also going to be some maps returning to Warzone, and they are Urzikstan and Rebirth Island. Now, Urzikstan is going to be the version that we got at the start of Modern Warfare 3. So that map that you played almost a year ago, that was dull. Well, guess what? It's going to be very dull once again, because it's going to be the same map. However, there's going to be no superstore, no changes to pot of power, and no bunkers. It's going to be the old map. Now, for me personally, I think this is a bad move. I think the fact that they're not bringing out a big map with the launch of Black Ops 6 is a bad move. And then the fact that they are keeping Urzikstan, which again is a stale map anyway, but also reverting all the changes that they've done on it. Not that they've done that many changes on it anyway, but they're reverting all those changes, again, is a very, very poor move for me. I think that we needed a fresh map, or we needed a new map, or a fresh update to Urzikstan. That's what we needed. We haven't got either, so personally, for me, big map is probably going to be chalked until the springtime, say like March time when we get Verdansk. Rebirth Island is also returning, and now at this point, lads, just let it go. Just vault it again and get rid of it. Innovate, please. Just do something that's not Rebirth Island. It says the infamous Prison Island continues to be in the playlist rotation. Now, the big standout point for me is that squad up, drop in, and survive from the start of Season 1. You're not even giving Area 99 time to breathe. You're literally dropping Day 1 playlist of Rebirth Island. Now, if you're going to play Rebirth Island over a brand new Area 99 map, there is no hope for you. I'm sorry to offend you. I'm sorry if you love Rebirth Island, but yeah, there's just no hope. Like, just leave it now. Just literally, you've got a fresh game. Give us fresh content. Stop going back and bringing back Rebirth Island. Now, returning modes and features. So, Battle Royale, Urzikstan obviously going to be at launch, 120 players. The curious thing is, because I've already quickly flicked through this blog to get an idea of this, when it says Resurgence, it says obviously Area 99 and Rebirth. It breaks down the solos, trios, quads, all that kind of stuff. Like, whereas Battle Royale is just 120 players. So does that mean that they're going to really just nerf the playlists again, and we're going to get, like, solos one week and, no duos, and then another week we're going to get trios and quads only and no solos? Is that what they're going to do with this? Because if they are, then literally just give us Verdansk now, because, don't even put a big map in the game at this point. Like, this is the worrying thing for me. This has been broken down into, yes, all 4 game modes are returning, but not for Battle Royale, which is, yeah, sucks to be a big map player, I can't lie. Now, Plunder is returning as the 3rd mode, and I think this mode can play a bit more of a more prominent role in the Warzone sort of scene this year in comparison to what it has done in previous years. Purely because, and we'll get onto it a little bit later on, you're gonna unlock perks and stuff that they're gonna relock if you prestige. So Plunder will be a good way of leveling up pretty quickly, I'd imagine. Also, Ranked is coming in mid-season, so around about mid-December, I think we'll probably see Ranked mode, and it's going to be Urzikstan. It's going to be big map for a change. Don't know if we're going to get Resurgence Ranked actually or not to go alongside big map Ranked, but at least we're finally getting a Ranked mode on the big map after a year of asking for it. We're finally getting it. This is a screenshot or a screen grab or some sort of artwork from downtown in Urzikstan. It's finally coming. There's finally going to be something to do other than just run around a steel boring big map in pubs. Thank God. If you've been playing a lot of Black Ops 6 multiplayer like me, you'll obviously be well and truly familiar with the Winner's Circle. Looks like we're getting that in Warzone as well, so we'll be able to drop your emotes at the end. I'm hoping they bring back end of game voice chat as well, because if you can be dropping like sort of a shush emote on people as they're giving you loads of flack in the comms chat, I think that'll be absolutely fantastic. So hopefully they combine the two together. But yeah, Winner Circle coming to Warzone. Now to bring Warzone in line with Black Ops 6, they're giving us the loadout building screen as exactly the same as what we have in Black Ops 6. So this is what's going to look like. It's very, very clean. If you haven't played Black Ops 6 yet, this is very clean, very easy to use, and I'm actually a big fan of it in comparison to what we have had in previous Call of Duties, i.e. Modern Warfare 2 and Modern Warfare 3. One thing I'm a big fan of this as well is that the guns are going to be broken down into, obviously, the different categories. So assault rifles, battle rifles, all that stuff. That's nothing new. However, for the first time ever, rather than just some endless scroll or whatever, we're going to have Black Ops 6, Modern Warfare 2, and then Modern Warfare 3 sort of drop-down menus here. So we'll be able to click on one of them and be like, right, okay, I want to use Modern Warfare 2 gun. Not that you would ever want to use one. However, they'll all be in their own categories. So therefore, you don't have to endlessly scroll for guns or anything like that. They're going to be there, easy access to you. And one thing as well that's going to port across from multiplayer, if that... You'll have seen if you've definitely been playing multiplayer. So if you create a build on one class and go to another class and then try to put that gun back on that class as well, that build is obviously a few. That's going to carry across the board. So Zombies, Warzone, and multiplayer is going to have that sort of universal sort of remembered kind of build of the gun. So you're not going to have to like constantly try and save new builds or anything like that. And that's going to be remembered. You'll be able to unequip them and equip them pretty easily, which I'm a big fan of as well. Now this is the thing I'm starting to get a bit wary of. At launch, there's going to be 177 weapons in Warzone. That includes Modern Warfare 2, Modern Warfare 3, and Black Ops 6. At this point, why we keep Modern Warfare 2? Why we not just get rid of it? Like, I'm sorry, but is anyone going to look at Black Ops 6 and go, you know what, I like the XM4 and that. You know what, I'm really going to try the M4 from Modern Warfare 2. No one's using that. Just get rid of it. Just vault those guns, get rid of them. I think that with every sort of fresh integration of Warzone that we get, I think that we should probably get rid of the previous game's weapons and sort of equipment and stuff like that. However, one thing I would keep is the operators. I feel like if we get like a Fortnite style going, you can have operators from like years and years and years ago, but we can get new weapons and stuff like that. Constantly refreshing. I think that's probably the better way to do it. Now, obviously, tacticals and lethals, they're obviously coming back. Flashbang, concussion, which is basically just a stun grenade, smoke grenade, gas grenade, snapshot, spy camera, stim shot, gas grenade. I'm not actually... Oh, no, Neurogas, sorry, it's like a claymore, but for gas. Decoy grenade and a shock charge, they're pretty standard. So this is where this gets interesting. So Black Ops 6 reintroduced the old school prestige system, which basically you go from 1 to level 55, you prestige, it relocks everything, and you go again and again for 10 prestiges until you've got massive prestige, and then again, then you don't have to prestige anymore, and you've got everything unlocked. Now, this system's going to transfer over to Warzone as well, and I think it's going to be a bit of a problem. So these things are not going to be available straight away. The only thing you're going to have straight away, equipment-wise, unless you've been playing Black Ops 6 and your level will transfer across, is going to be a concussion grenade. Other than that, everything else is going to take levels to unlock. So say you want to use a stim shot, can't do that until you're level 30, and this gets significantly worse as we go on. So I'm gonna I'll highlight that in a second. So frag grenade, stick grenade, impact grenade, they're pretty decent in multiplayer. Don't know how they're going to be in Warzone. Thermal barrack as well. We've had them in Modern Warfare 3. Hits the ground and obviously fire goes everywhere. Molotov grenade, Molotov cocktail, sorry. Again, pretty standard. Drill charge, we know them. Combat axe and throwing knives. We're going to have two sort of thrown melee kills kind of things. Big fan of them. I imagine throwing knives so will overtake combat knife. The combat axe, I don't imagine many people will run that. Then obviously you've got spring mine, which is I'm pretty sure it's like a fail upgrade in Black Ops 6. That's going to be lethal in Warzone. Basically, it's kind of just like a claymore or something like that. Blast trap, again, kind of a claymore. And C4, nothing out of the ordinary. Once again, though, all unlocked by weapon levels. Now, we're getting some new kill streaks. We're getting a SAM turret, which I don't know why. Unless anyone's flying a heli. I'm not quite sure what that SAM turret's going to do. But yeah, counter UAV, again, standard. Care package, which could be interesting. I don't know why anyone would want to run a care package in Warzone, but hey ho, it is what it is. Sentry turret, again, I don't know why anyone would want to bother with it. Cluster strike is replacing the mortar, and apparently the cluster strikes are meant to be a lot better, so that could be decent. However, the one that I'm actually really looking forward to is a napalm strike. Now, how many times have someone been running out in the open and making late game rotations, and you've gone to precision airstrike them, and the precision airstrike has totally missed them, and they've been able to freely run across the map? Well, it doesn't matter with a napalm strike because you can napalm their push and not be able to run through the flames without taking any damage. So for me, I think the addition of a napalm strike is going to be very interesting to make some interesting rotations, especially end game if you've got one of these. I imagine this will be very, very overpowered, and you know what? I can't wait to use it. Now, we'll see as well, like things like UAV level 15. I don't know what that means. If that tells me you've got to be level 15 before you can buy UAV from the buy station or something, we'll have some serious problems. Now into perks, have totally revolutionised perks this year, and this is the one aspect of this game that I'm actually really, really not a fan of, and I think this is going to cause a lot of problems within the community going forward. Now, Warzone's gone back from 4 perks to 3 perks, and they've also taken some of the movement that we've had as base in the previous integration of Warzone, especially Modern Warfare 3's Warzone. I put them back as perks, and I'm going to touch on them, and we'll go through them all in a second. However, this is the big issue for me, is that in Call of Duty Warzone, most pick 3 perks are unlocked as you level your player, and will be relocked if you choose to prestige. So, for instance, I think High Alert, which we'll touch on in a second, is locked at like level 45 or something like that. That means you've got to go from 1 to 45 without having High Alert. However, you're going to be at a disadvantage to anyone who doesn't prestige or is above level 45 who can run High Alert, or even then again Master Prestige, because they're going to have everything unlocked. And I think this is going to be a problem that we're going to see a lot in this upcoming Warzone. Alright, so I've just zoomed in on the perks to break down so you guys can see what they say a little bit better, and we'll talk about them as well. So basically the pick 3 perks, you're going to choose 1 blue perk, 1 red perk, and 1 yellow perk, or something like that, and they're going to be your 3 perks, as opposed to choosing 2 perk 1s, 1 perk 2, and 1 perk 3 that we've had for the last 2 years now. So perk 1 is blue, and basically the 6 to choose from. Some of them are going to be unlocked via Season 1 rewards, some of them are going to be unlocked straight away, and some are going to be unlocked by just hitting a certain level. So first one we have is Reflexes. This is a Season 1 reloaded reward, and basically triggered explosives have a delay when sprinting past them, kind of what Flex does now. We're also going to have Veteran, which is going to be a Season 1 reward, which reduces the negative effects of some enemy equipment, so I imagine it might slow down, maybe stun grenades, something like that. While aiming down sight, you'll have reduced flinching, and you'll be able to hold your breath longer if you're using a sniper. Again, pretty bog standard. We have Grenade, which is going to be unlocked immediately. Explosive damage slows enemy health regeneration and movement speed, so see you hit someone with a frag grenade, they don't die, not be able to move as much, and their health won't regen as faster. Basically, you'll also be able to throw equipment further as well, which is kind of like what we have Strong Arm now. Now, this one is something that we have right now in Warzone for everybody, base level, unlocked. This is like actually within the movement mechanics. It is Dexterity, which reduces weapon motion while jumping, sliding, and diving, and you take less fall damage. Now, obviously, Mountaineer is the less fall damage bit, so we don't have that in Warzone right now unless you use Mountaineer. However, the reduced weapon motion while jumping, sliding, and diving is what we have in Warzone right now. So I'd imagine that when you're trying to run around the map now, it looks somewhat smooth. In Black Ops 6's Warzone, it's going to look a bit like less smooth, basically. And it's going to be unlocked at level 20 as well, so you've got to get to level 20 before you can unlock it. Scavenger, obviously unlocked at level 26. You start with, sort of like a full maximum reserve ammo. I will say this is kind of like fully loaded that we had back in the Dansk days, and we haven't had since, where basically, end zone, if you're trying to regain, grab a fully loaded loadout, and then you've got ammo straight away. One thing I don't get is resupply ammo equipment and plates from dead enemies. Now, surely that just happens anyway, so I don't get why the second part of that is there. It's a bit odd, but there we go. Survivor is going to basically start regenerating health more quickly, and if you go down, your allies will revive you a lot quicker as well. Kind of like Quick Fix. Don't know how it's going to be. For me personally, there's only 1 perk 1 anyone's going to use there, and it's going to be Dexterity, because it's going to make the movement a lot smoother. Anything else there that's going to really jump out at me? Maybe Scavenger end the game, but again, nothing really. So yeah, Dexterity level 20, that's the one. Now on to red perks, which is perk 2. You've got Quartermaster, which basically you just recharge equipment, restock, basically that's all that is. Standard stuff. Bomb Squad, reduces obviously explosive damage. Tracker, we've had this for years now, Seeing enemy footsteps. Bullets, you fire briefly, mark an enemy for you in a squad. Alright, so that's kind of put Combat Scout into Tracker. Okay, I get that. And enemies that down you are automatically pinged. Now, This for me, and I will like touch on this a little bit later on as well, is that the perks are very hand-holdy this year, in my opinion. This one is one of those examples where that if I'm knocking an enemy, I should have the upper hand of that team because I've gone and won a gunfight and knocked an enemy. So why all of a sudden am I getting pinged for knocking an enemy if someone's using tracker? It's baffling. That is just totally insane. Sprinter can tack sprint indefinitely. I think that should just be standard, to be honest. We had it in Warzone 1. If you obviously hit the slide cancel, your attack sprint instantly replenished. We had unlimited attack sprint. Yeah, just get rid of that. I would just have that permanent across the board. Cold-blooded, obviously thermals, stuff like that can't detect you. You know, we've already had all that. And quick fix. Kill enemies or insert plates to start health, can insert armor plates one-handed. So you must be able to shoot as you're inserting armor plates, which could be actually a big win. However, what is the difference between quick fix and that? Like, what's the difference? I mean, there's 3 levels difference, basically. One's unlocked at level 47, one's level 50. Survivor or quick fix? It's going to be quick fix, isn't it? Level 50. Yeah. Wow. Level 50 to use quick fix, man. That's insane. What would I use up until that point anyway? Sprinter, maybe? Tracker will be overpowered. That's going to be insane, man. And then we got the yellow perks, which is perk 3. So, we have Gunko. Again, this is something we already have in Warzone right now. Reload while attack sprinting. So, you're reloading. If you don't have this perk on, it's going to be slower than what you're used to in Warzone right now. So, once again, they're nerfing movement in Warzone for some weird reason. Yes, they're bringing out only movement, but they're nerfing movement in other ways, which is baffling. For me, personally, Warzone is best when it's like sort of smoothest at movement, and for me, I think that needs to be a pretty standard thing. Shouldn't be behind a perk, in my opinion. Resolute, taking damage from gunfire, provides a movement boost. We already got that anyway. Ghost, undetectable while moving, standard across the board. You know, actually, I'm kind of surprised with how the perks have been put out this year, in terms of how much they help players anyway. I'm surprised this actually hasn't been reverted back to the original Ghost, where you're just invisible all the time. Bird's Eye. You have 25% longer. That's pretty decent. And you show the heading of the enemy for your squad. Alright, so it's kind of like having an advanced UAV-esque. And you also detect players with ghosts, okay. Tempered, refill armor plates with 2 players. Yep, we already have that anyway. And alertness, which is, I think, high alert. Yeah, tell when you are being in by enemies to the screen flashes. This is the interesting one for me, though. Sense when enemies are nearby. So, I think... possibly. This is going to be like when we had, when you could get a dog as sort of like, you know, when they brought the dog operator in, well, not the dog operator, but like the dog sort of, you know, finisher in or whatever on Modern Warfare 3, and the dog would bark if enemies were near you. I think this is going to be something similar. This could be broken, though. This could be very, very broken. And then also the perks, we're also going to have a wild card. There's currently going to be 4 of them in the game. Basically, you pick one of the wild cards, presuming you've unlocked them. So once again, these are going to have to be locked by a level. Now, one of the things they're reverting back from the Modern Warfare 2 integration of Warzone into now is that Overkill has gone back to the Verdansk days where you only have one primary weapon unless you equip the wildcard that gives you Overkill at level 24. Now, this obviously allows you to equip 2 primary or secondary weapons. That's all good. That's what we're used to. That's probably what most people will run. However, level 24, which means that you've got to go from 1 to 24 before you can have both weapons on your loadout. So you'll be limited to one weapon, then you're going to have to go to a buy station and buy your second weapon. So say you want an ER as your primary weapon, that's all well and good. But then you've got to make your way to a buy station, potentially get shot at, be very, very rough in sort of close range fights as well, because you won't have your preferred SMG. And then you're going to have to go buy it until you either permanently unlock Overkill or you decide that you're going to go and hit level 24. Now, again, I'm going to talk about all these problems in a second, because I don't really see any big Call of Duty creator talking about this issue. Bandolier, basically you get a munitions box or whatever, level 15, kind of like a fully loaded thing. So, yes, you can probably run this if you don't want to run a scavenger, and you can get that. You get like sort of, you know, it's kind of like fully loaded basically. Gunfighter, attach 3 extra attachments to your primary weapon. For me, this one or Overkill, I think are going to be the main ones. If you're going to be more competent player and you maybe think, okay, I'm going to do that and then go to the buy station and buy your gun, then maybe Gunfighter could be the one for you. And then this one's very, very interesting. This one here is level 38. It's called Battle Ready, which is going to provide you with a utility box. It's going to give you ammo and armor, and it's also going to give you UAV. I imagine endgame, this thing's going to come in pretty clutch, and it kind of looks like they're kind of reverting back to the dance days, you know, when you maybe would try to rush to get a loadout, and you get your Overkill loadout, and then you'll get a second loadout, maybe the free loadout when that one comes in, and that'll have Ghosts on or something like that. That was like the Verdansk days meta. It looks like we're kind of going back to that and something similar to that. So Gameplay is going to change. However, for me personally, I think it's going to be a lot different. And yeah, I think it's going to be a lot different for the worst. Now, one of the big selling points of Black Ops 6 was original prestige is coming back. And that was a big win. I've really enjoyed doing it. I've really enjoyed it in multiplayer. I think it's been fantastic. Now, one of the big selling points of Warzone is, yes, it's a battle royale, but you can customize and choose how you want to play through a loadout. The prestige system and that sort of selling point for Warzone of customizability don't work hand in hand. Now, for multiplayer, I think prestige is a great way of doing it. You know, multiplayer is essentially just you kill, you die, you rinse and repeat. That's how multiplayer works. You keep doing it over and over. It's mindless. Warzone and Battle Royales are a little bit more tactical. And for me, if you are prestiging and then going all the way back from 55 down to level 1 and trying to grind up, especially in a game like Call of Duty where the matchmaking is so strict that eventually, I think for me personally, being kind of like, you know, I've had like a 2 point whatever. I've almost got a 3 KD in Warzone right now, to be fair. So I'm almost at a 3 KD. So I'm going to be matched against players who are obviously going to be a lot more competent at the game than maybe someone who's got like a 0.9 KD. Now, for me, I'm probably going to get into lobbies where people aren't either not going to prestige because they lose everything and they don't see the point of losing everything, and B, are going to be fully prestige master, therefore they've got everything unlocked. Why? Because I'm progressing in the game and wanting to progress in the game and do the grind in the game. Should I be penalised for like doing so and having everything relocked? I'm going to be a massive disadvantage being a level 1 than being at someone to see who's like level 50. I can have something like alertness or quick fix or, you know, tempered, stuff like that. And all because I've chosen to prestige, everything gets relocked for me apart from one thing that can maybe unlock permanently on an unlock token. I don't see the point of this. I'm not really like, I know I'm not trying to be like, oh, you know, this is like bad. The only thing this ever benefits is going to be people who can either A, play the game a lot and get full prestige, or B, people who will just never prestige because they see that they're going to be at a massive disadvantage. I think that we're going to go into Warzone and a lot of people are going to be like, actually, wait a minute, this is not the game that I remember, it's not the game that like I'm used to, which is fine. Change is good, you need to change these kind of things. However, it's just baffling. Like, why? You've nerfed kind of movement in terms of taking dexterity off us and gung-ho off us. And then you've also kind of, by the looks of it, you know, like, buffed high alert for some strange reason. And you're not like spamming perks and levels. For me personally, I'm not a big fan of that. And I think it's going to have to be looked at quite in depth. And I think it's going to have to be called out by a lot of bigger Call of Duty creators than me to actually get this change reverted a bit. I think that, yes, you should go from level 1 to 55 the first time, but everything should stay unlocked in Warzone, and everything should relock in multiplayer and zombies, in my opinion. And there's going to be little perks and specialists in the game, so basically, like we had previously, I think Irradiated and Shrouded are going to be 2 of those perks, kind of like what we've been used to before. I'm actually a big fan of lootable perks. I think that, yes, it adds a little bit of RNG to the game. However, Irradiated only allows you to survive in the gas a little bit longer. And you can obviously put plates on, and Shroud basically lets you drop a smoke grenade when you enter a down state. That's nothing like that we're not used to already. So for me, like, not having them as perks, not really too bad. Having them as in-game perks, I'm a fan of. And then Specialist is back as well, where you can get everything as well, including the in-game perks as well. I'm a big fan of that. All the operators are returning. Big fan of that. There's only 157 of them. It means that every skin you've bought in Modern Warfare 2 until now will be in Warzone. You can use them. You can do whatever you want with them. For me, I'm a big fan of that. I really just use the same Warzone skin all the time. I think it's like, what is it? Precious Cargo, the dog on my shoulder. Big fan of it. We'll probably continue to use that one. Omni movement and body shield there, obviously coming to Warzone. It's been touched on a lot through Black Ops 6 and stuff. Don't really need to read through this. You know, basically slide, dive, do whatever you want in direction. Yeah, it's pretty decent for the most part. Emotes and sprays are coming back as well, which I'm a big fan of. We had these in Warzone 1, a way of griefing people and stuff like that. Hopefully they don't get to the point of griefing people again by being able to spray soldiers and stuff on the walls. However, I'm a big fan of the emotes and stuff like that. And then we're also going back to an old school sort of system for inventory management. There's going to be no more backpacks, which I am a huge fan of. That means no more stowing smoke grenades, stuff like that. I really like how clean this looks. Money, gas mask, plates, whatever equipment, whatever kill streak you're carrying, whatever sort of fail upgrade you're carrying, primary, secondary. Melees are going to be a designated zone this year where basically you pull out your melee, you get an unlimited attack sprint, so that's going to be pretty decent. Then obviously all your ammo as well. Big fan of that. I'm really liking how that is going to be. Satchels, there's going to be 2 of them at the start. Basically, you can increase the amount of armor you're carrying. Big fan of that. And munitions can increase the amount of ammo you're carrying. Again, nice and easy. And then this basically just talks on about prestige and stuff like that. We all know how that works. Also, Warzone's getting its own camo. If you've done the Black Ops multiplayer camo grind, you know how difficult the camo grind's not difficult, but how long the camo grinds have been this year. No idea what that's going to be like. It looks like it's going to be like the Black Ops 6 one, where you do the 9mm camos, 2 specials, and then get on the mastery ones. Don't know what the challenge is going to be. Could be interesting, could not be interesting. I don't think I really played them that much because there's going to be so many decent meta weapons in Warzone this year. So we'll just probably not bother with that too much. But yeah, we'll see how we get on. The camera does look good though. And then Warzone Mobile, I think the level's going to integrate something like that as well. But yeah, that is everything for Warzone that's coming this year. It's hit and miss for me personally. I'll have to see how it plays, but I'll tell you now that if I'm going through the ranks and I'm prestiging, and as soon as I get in a lobby full of people that are not going to prestige, or a 10th prestige, and I've got everything unlocked, I will 100% be off to play zombies, and I won't be touching Warzone until I'm 10th prestige and everything is unlocked. That's how I feel about it.